What's up guys, RC Hobby Steve here. Welcome to episode 1 of my Cross RC Demon Sp4-A kit build. I already have laid out in front of me my very first step in what I have to do. The way this build series will work is I will introduce to you what I will be putting together so that you guys know what I'm doing. I'll show you the image, and then off camera I will build it because you guys don't need to sit through me putting everything together and messing up and whatnot. So I'd rather do all that off camera and then turn the camera back on and show you what the product looks like once it's all put together. So what I'm going to be working on first is the frame rails, the skid, the side rails, and the chassis brace. So I'm gonna get all this together right now, and I'll come back to the camera and show you guys what it looks like put together. Alright guys, so this was pretty quick and easy. I was able to assemble the frame rail with all the extra pieces that I needed to get it attached to. So now moving on to the following page, it is telling me to go ahead and add the what appears to be the front bumper, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, the front bumper. I won't be adding any lights right now because I'll be ordering some different kind of lights for this build. And it's telling me to add front inner fenders, so I'm gonna go ahead and get that real quick and get the necessary screws for this page. Alright, so I was able to scavenge around and find the front inner fender piece right here, which you see right there on number 6. Number 5 is where you'll insert the LEDs and the little bucket pieces for the hazard lights. Which again, I'm gonna do that later on, so I'll probably make a mark, X mark on things that I ended up skipping. But I have the front bumper, which obviously needs to be painted as well, and the inner fenders, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this off camera. I do have already the screws laid out that I need. All I have to do is they're the 1106, which is this size right here that I'm supposed to be using. So I'm gonna go ahead and take all those screws that I need and put this together, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I got the front bumper and front inner fenders mounted. I am really surprised on how easy everything went together. I did have to screw in the screws that mount this piece in before I mounted this, just to make sure the hole was threaded nicely. But other than that, everything went together pretty good, pretty simple. I like the design of the inner fenders with the built-in shock towers. It's a pretty cool design. And I like the fact that you have the ability to adjust your height on your shocks when the shocks go in. So of course the next step is going to be the shocks. So I'm gonna go ahead and start on this process. I'm probably not gonna use the oil that it came with. I'm probably gonna use some 35 weight that I have. Yep, right here from TLR. Team Low C Racing shock oil. This is a 35 weight, so I'm gonna go ahead and use that. But I will use the grease that came with this kit for certain parts here, so that everything works nicely. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this up for you guys, show you guys everything that I'm gonna need for it, and go ahead and build these shocks off camera and then tell you how it went. Alright guys, so I was able to gather everything I needed to build my shocks, and I believe I have everything. I am going to be using, again, my own shock oil, not the shock oil that came with the kit. I'm going to be using 35 weight to try that out for now. I don't know how these springs will do with this truck. So they feel pretty firm. The good thing is the axial springs are the same width and size as these, so if I ever need to play with the shocks, I can, which is awesome. So I'm gonna go ahead and try my best to build these off camera. That's the process. I've built shocks before in the past. The only pain in the butt about this process are those little E-clips right there. So hopefully I can get this sorted out and built pretty quick. So I'll catch you when this is all done. Alright guys, so it took me quite a while just to get these shocks put together. Nothing too hard. The only things I struggled with were the bottom rod ends, which is this piece, and the E-clips, of course. Always struggle with those E-clips, especially with my big fingers. It's really hard to hold those tiny pieces in, but I managed to get the E-clips in. The reason I had trouble with this rod end piece was the ball piece wasn't going in the hole. So what I ended up having to do was use a body reamer and just ream out the hole on each side a little bit. I guess there is some excess plastic in the hole that needed to be shimmed down for the ball ends, these little pieces, to go in. I don't know what they're called, but as soon as I did that, they popped right in and they're nice and snug. Of course, like I said, I used 35 weight shock oil and they're nice and smooth. So build quality is really nice for an aluminum shock body. The manual is telling me to, like, later in the manual I looked it up and it's telling me to mount them upside down. I'm not going to mount them upside down because that just creates an air pocket in the shaft. So I'm going to mount them as usual, like this, and just go from there. So this is going to end episode 1 of the Cross RC build, and in the next episode we're going to go ahead and start working on I believe some links, because the axles are already built from factory, which saves me a whole lot of time. So yeah, the next thing we'll be working on is on page 18, number 15, the truss pieces, and we're gonna start working on some links. So stay tuned for the next episode. If you guys do have any questions regarding anything that I have done in this video, be sure to leave some comments down below and I'll try to answer your questions as best to my ability. So be sure to catch me on Instagram as well. I'm doing this ahead of a couple videos, so you won't see any pictures just yet until this video does get uploaded. Then you'll start seeing some pictures. But main piece completed. Shocks are now officially done, so these are going to get thrown into the box. And yeah, so I'll catch you in the next episode, guys. Peace.